Are you feeling uncertain? Are you scared in this uncertain, chaotic world? Well, don't be. Time to find certainty in the uncertainty. So, first, know what is certain. A lot of the stuff that you're hearing on the media and on social media is designed to ignite your fear. It's a design to trigger an emotional response so that you react. Don't react. Understand how you're emotionally feeling about these headlines. And then ask yourself what's real and what's not. For example, CUSMA or USMCA. This agreement is ensuring that tariffs are not affecting most of the trade between Canada, the US, and Mexico, which keeps prices down for Americans on goods coming from Mexico and Canada. So if you're paying a 25% increase on your produce from Mexico, you may want to check in with that grocery store manager and ask why. And if he says tariffs, remind him that produce grown in Mexico is USMCA compliant, therefore free trade. So try again. So if you know what's happening in the market, if you know what's happening out there, you can have certainty about certain things. We know that Trump likes tariffs. This is certain. We also know that the USMCA or CUSMA is coming up for negotiation next year, but we also have heard that chances are they're going to start negotiating this November. We also have heard things from Trump and his US ambassador to Canada, Hoekstra, saying, hey, Canada is the villain and they are risking the CUSMA agreement. So knowing that Trump does like tariffs, that he is a tariff guy, that he has not been happy with the proposals sent to him from Canada, as stated at the G7 press conference, saying that he's a tariff guy. And although his people, some of his people like Carney's proposals, they're too complicated for Trump because tariffs are just simple. So chances of there being a tariff on Canada and Mexico, we know there is a chance, and that's a certainty. So when I say first thing is knowing what's what, know what's what. Get past the headline. Don't react emotionally. Find the real story. 2, so you know what's happening. Now you need to do your research. So research, the more you research, the more you know, the more certain you can be. So if you are an employee for a company and that company is affected by the tariffs, whether you're in Canada, US, Mexico, or any other country in the world, and you know that the company isn't really doing anything different than before the tariffs, well, there's a certainty there, isn't there? Their certainty is not doing anything. They're not doing anything, and something is still going to happen even though they don't do anything. And there's a chance that pink slips will be in the future of some people that work for that company. So what, as an employee, can you do to ensure that either you keep your job or that if you do get a pink slip, it's okay because you know that there are more opportunities out there for you? Well, the first thing that you can do is talk to people within your company. Ask people what they hear from the powers that be. See if you can find out if there's stuff happening that you just don't know about. Chances are they are doing stuff, but they don't communicate to everyone. 2, hey, have you got some certifications that you've been putting off, or maybe some skills that you need to update? Make sure that you are valuable to the company by getting those certifications, getting those skills by being helpful to your boss and anyone else in the organization. Talk to people in the organization by asking questions, seeing if you can network with them, get to know them better, find out more about how maybe you can advance in your career. And by doing so, ensure that you're getting the right things in your toolbox so that when it comes time to decide who goes and who stays, it'll be harder to give you that pink slip. But if they do give you that pink slip, guess what? You've been networking with other companies in your area, finding out what they're doing, finding out how these tariffs are affecting their businesses. And by doing so, you're learning about the businesses that are not being affected, the ones that are diversifying, growing regardless of the tariffs, and that gives you a head start from maybe Joe down the hall, and we both get that pink slip. You've got a head start on Joe. So 1, know what's happening. 2, do your research. 3, make a decision. You need to be able to make a decision. So a lot of companies, we hear on the news that they're not investing, that they're not doing anything. They're just waiting to see what's going to happen. Waiting to see is a decision to not do anything, to not make a decision. When you are in a situation where you are waiting on other people, when you are waiting for something to happen, so you don't make a decision, you are at the mercy of other people's decisions. So you need to figure out what is going to be the best decision for you. So let's take the Air Force, Chief of Staff of the Air Force. He had inklings, he heard stories that Hegseth was probably going to be firing him. Now, this could be because Hegseth heard stuff about his opinion of what was happening in the States. I have no idea. That's conjecture 100%. But he has to make a decision. Is he going to stay, maybe change his attitude and buddy up with Hegseth in order to keep his job? Or was he going to resign and find a new opportunity? Well, he resigned. And chances are he was out networking with private companies to find an opportunity before he made that decision to resign. So know what's certain, do your research, make a decision, have a contingency plan. So contingency plans are very important for businesses, for leaders of countries and cities and provinces or states. It's also very important for you, because when you have a contingency plan, no matter what happens, you are certain about what to do to keep you safe and to ensure that you will survive whatever storm lands on your door. Now, our first responders, policemen, firemen, and paramedics, they don't sit around all day drinking beer and waiting for a call. Nope. In fact, they're probably not drinking beer because that would be a really bad thing, showing up drunk on a call. But they're not sitting in their house waiting for a call. No, they're going out and proactively doing something. Firemen will proactively practice various situations and pretend that this person's hurt and this is what they're going to do. And there's a fire here. What are we going to do? And they practice this stuff over and over again so that they have contingency plans. In case something goes wrong, they know what to do. That is extremely important when you want certainty. 2, policemen are proactively going out into the communities to be at least located somewhere in case there is a call for that they're going to need to be, so that they're not having to drive. Everyone is in one place having to drive across. They spread out and do their thing. Paramedics, same thing. They're always practicing, always going and improving on their skill set, improving their knowledge to be better at their jobs. The top people in those jobs that's what they're doing. So have knowledge, do your research, make a decision, have a contingency plan. Hopefully, these ideas will help you find certainty in today's uncertain chaos of Trump mania. And until next time, peel out.